Hello and welcome to the next upload of what is going to be an absolute mess and a nightmare. I want to get the new Jazz Modular in somewhere, and I'm thinking of adding it in to our new superhero display that we're adding in within the theme park. Now everything you see behind me, it is all in rough because it will be pulled out and we'll just tidy everything up once we know what's going where. Now, in the last upload, which was the unboxing of this specific set, I did pull out a couple of the modulars. We paired them up to see what they look like and what worked well and what didn't. For example, it didn't work well with the corner garage, but it did quite work well with the modular. I'm thinking of putting it beside today. But I will link that video to the end of this one so you can go back and watch it, and then you can give me more input with what you think. Now, what I want to do is I want to put this one beside, if possible, the Ace Brickmans. But I want to put it beside this side of it, because I think it looks the best with regards to going in this side of the display, because there's no other modulars on this side and that'll be the only one that it can go with. But what I wanted to do, I've got options. Basically, I can pull that unit out, pull this out, because this is where the Doctor Strange set was going to go, and have it just going directly beside, which is what we will do first, and then pull this one up. So we've then created a side street, which is absolutely fine, but then it does mean that we lose the 32 by 32 space, and then we have to carry on with the sort of this road path, so we get more, basically more display space. So that is one option. We lose where the Doctor Strange would go, but we add that modular and we add some extra bits of road. So we could potentially do that, because there's one issue that it solves. It creates a lot more, but the one issue it solves is this modular in the corner, this thing here, is you can't see it. Obviously you can see the back of it and it looks fine, but when the next modular goes in here, you won't see the side of the building, and then from the front you're not going to see it anyway. Now I know people don't like the townhouses, but it's too far back off the other base plate, because this bit here, this other road that's going sort of in a straight line, that would have been another corner unit. That was the plan of having 4 corner units originally, and then we create a path through. Now option number 2, as I'm thinking and saying this out loud, I did actually want to, because this is the second time I've started this video, because a light bulb went off and then I ended up slapping myself in the forehead. I wanted this unit here, this way, beside that, and I thought, yeah, that'd be perfect, because what we can do is we can use the alleyway. So we'll get some nice photos of then seeing like the Joker Manor and the other buildings on like the DC side. So we can just create like a little gapway, and then that would work fine. And then the new set goes beside that, and then you both face forward. As I was saying that to myself, like I said, the light bulb went off, and then I just ended up having a cry, because I'm off by half a base plate, because that unit in the corner is only half of a base plate and we need 2 base plates. So that isn't going to work unless we move and remove all the roads. Now, it means we just lose this bit here. We can keep the corner, and we just pull this over. We pull the Daily Bugle over. That then gets moved to somewhere else. That could basically just get pushed forward, and we can have both side by side. That is another option, but it does mean that we do lose all of this space down the side. Now we can keep potentially some space here, so it just makes it look like it's 2 separate displays. So this road basically goes into the side of the modular, and all we really do is lose 3 of these, which just means there'd be no vehicle outside the front of the bank, but we could still have the bank robbery and stuff happening, because excuse me, because we have got the place on the, well, the space on the front of the 32 by 32. So there's lots of moving and just figuring it out. Once I've seen it, I can then obviously get a better understanding, like you can, because once we've got this side done, we can then go over to the DC side and it'll be fine. But the big problems is that I want the Doctor Strange set, and originally we were going to have it close to the Bugle, then we're going to have it side to the Bugle. We have got this green table, which we could actually just add it on and then put it next to the roller coaster and just sort of have another main Marvel building over and away beside another ride, which might make perfect sense, because this would actually look nice as a real big sort of city diorama with the new modulars in. And now there is actually a Marvel character that goes with the Jazz Club as well. I've actually done a bit of research, can't remember the name now, but if you give it a Google, there is a character that came, some superhero that came out of the Jazz. I'm sure there'll be a few of you that know the name of that one. When this side's done, we've then got to think of, I am going to be standing from here a lot. I will be taking a lot of photos. that is the back of what is now going to be the Gotham, and that is the back of the famous cinema. Now, because I put these in before we said about extending over onto this green table and adding the roller coaster in, do I put these two modulars against the back wall? So do they go either right beside the Joker Manor, so you can see them and they're on the road, and that way we can just keep the road going all the way down. We can have all the Batman vehicles, and obviously you can cut around the corner because we'll have the connection through on the middle of this land. Do I put the Joker Manor in the middle so the actual ride splits up both lands, so the ride is sort of smack in the middle, so we have one ride in the middle and then the big roller coaster onto this side, and then we have basically the back stretch of that against that back wall where that unit is now, where we can have other DC related buildings. This road just gets pushed back and then we can sort of kiss and connect it all up nicely. I'm favouring to idea number 2, I think, but I want to see what idea number 1 looks like first and how much space we're going to lose. But it does mean that once this is done, we'll see how much display space we've got, and then you guys can let me know what you think would look best, obviously, because the actual diorama bits that we'll be making, we'll try and do those on the lives like we did with these, for example. So we've got plenty of these that we need to do. I have got some cars and things that I want to add in onto this. We could sort of just continue the road round and then it just crashes into the front of the building. We can spice it up and change it, but I just need your help on this. So first thing first I need to do is I'm going to put you down, have you facing forward, because I'll try and do all this in one take, because if I drop anything, I'm not taking it out. It is that simple, that easy. So if I plonk you down by low key so you get a good understanding of just what needs to be moved to start with. That 32 by 32 base plate originally was going to be a corner unit. It's now not, because obviously the Daily Bugle's there and you can't actually walk down the side of the Bugle. So the original idea was to have a corner unit here, and then you had 4 corner units and it created like a dirty alleyway connecting the two. Now we can't do that anymore because we've moved the Daily Bugle into a much better place, but it has sort of ruined the idea of the sort of dirty alleyway. But if I just pull this over and out the way, it does mean I'm gonna have to go full stretch. You know, I'll pull it out. This could go wrong because I've moved these quite a lot, and you can see the top is not on this properly. Come on, there we go. So that is out. Laughing. So what I wanted to do is I wanted this go in, say roughly there, but there's going to be problems. I can see problems with this potentially already. And then the new one, I think I can grab it and we can put all the minifigures and things out the front. The new one can go just here. So that is the new one slotting in just on there, and then that basically is that. So those two side by side, I think they look nice. I think the colours sort of go against each other. It then just means the Jazz Club, I keep calling it Jazz Caf as well because of obviously the pizzeria. I think it almost tones down the red, and it doesn't matter too much that this is red, because you've got the blue against the blue, and then you've got the yellow, and it kind of matches. I know it's supposed to be like a 40s type gangster jazz club. They could have potentially toned down the colour. I love bright colours, but I'm not 100% sure on the red myself. But I think going against that blue, it does work quite well. Forget all the minifigures and stuff that are on the top. That was all from a Lego movie display that we did. That can go. Obviously that stays, and then we can add a little bit of a display on here. Now, modulars are in. This is the next thing. So we would have to make, that's where the Bugle finishes. So it is in line. So the back of the Bugle does finish with that. Now it does mean that on this side, so it's pros and cons. On this side now, we have a space for a 32 by 32 base plate that would be facing inwards. The road would then come underneath the bridge. It would then connect up and it would loop round and basically connect back to here. So we would have a full square road all the way around. So it's simple enough. If you can't visualize it, I've got to be so careful because directly behind me is the actual ladder hatch, and I've nearly fallen down it a few times doing this because this is the only thing with this bit being here I actually dangle a leg over the hatch. Right, good placement, good throw. Oh, you can see if I pull this one all the way back, that is kissing. The white would be the road where the front of this green base plate is. So now if I push that back, you can see how that would work. So we'd have another modular in there, and then you can see how you connect the path, connect it round, connect it through, and then that would be simple as that. If we can do it as a merger, obviously, and potentially, the new Doctor Strange set could go here. All of this gets shimmied up, so that the pull bit does go against sort of the Batmobile, and then it comes through. So if we think that would work well, that's absolutely fine. The road stays, and that is just a nice simple wrap and loop around, because we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with Doctor Strange 6 modulars all in this display, and it's done, and it's simple. Now I'll let you soak that in. That's actually looked better than what I thought it was going to. I thought that would look really messy, because I could say, for example, put, if I'm using the wrong row plates, but we could have like that row plate up in there, the next row plate comes through, and it just connects around, because I have got all of these, so I'll actually give you a better look. Obviously this needs to be like a half and half plate, and the one that I've just moved I do need to add in. So we are a little bit rough and ready, because we are off by one. We're off by one plate, but you get an understanding now, I think, of what that is. So the one that I've just moved was that one in the corner. So obviously you put one there with a corner, wrap it round, it comes through, and then the road comes round. Now that would be where all the figures walk around, which is very, very accurate to how the Orlando parks are, and what it looks like in Abu Dhabi as well, with regards to, you just look like you're walking through a city, but you actually walk on the roads. That is more accurate, I think, but we might lose a modular doing it that way. But if we do it the other way, I don't know if it gives that same effect. I actually do like that. So soak it in quick. So just imagine you're making reels, you're doing it at home. Just think of all the displays that we can now make up around this. I've got the new taxi. I want to bring up some more vehicles. I can fill up the vehicles because it works, because I thought it would look a little bit more lost and swallowed. What I will do before I quickly change it is just pull that green 32 by 32 out, push those two modulars over, put the empty modular to this side, so we can kind of visualize what the Doctor Strange looks like, because this 16 by 16 here would be a custom display. So we would have a display here, like a almost like a battle or meet and greet directly outside the new Doctor Strange set, a bit like what we've got here. So we've got one of those there where the road kind of disappears, and then we can connect it back up again. This one is just a standard road, but you can see how what we did in the last display, we actually split the road up and had them breaking through, very similar to how we've got this bit being done. So obviously all of this is just rough and temporary, and then we'll try and get it in a little bit better. Yes, I think so. I am actually liking that. So I think we're now gonna do something that I don't think is gonna work as well, because this flows as a city should do, as a theme park. I think this looks better than a theme park, whereas what I'm about to do, I'm saying this on camera, I think what I'm about to do is split it into two completely separate sections with like a hidden walkway, which I don't think would look like a city, nor would it be the same layout as a normal theme park would be, but we would gain potentially a modular or two of space, possibly. Or we don't, and we lose the road because we'll be spinning it around the other way. I can't mathematically work it out in my head, I'm just too tired. So it'll take a couple of minutes, won't it? So we will make sure that I pull this one over, because what you're looking at now would be the kind of things you would look at on the lives. That's sort of like the angle and the views you would get. That would obviously be that would be one of the units. What do we think? So just type as you go. Let me know what you think. I really do quite like this layout, but I want to see them both because this does allow the strange to go in, I think, where we're going. And I like the fact that you can see the Batman vehicle underneath the actual, like, obviously from the Batman you had the train, didn't you, going over the top, so that's what that bit's for. And then we can have all the sort of like the Batman vehicles and things, but I just need to make sure that that will, so that is kissing, that it is in. I think that looks quite nice. So again, you've got to imagine, and then that obviously would fit there, and then that bit just there would be its own display, and then we could just have the road walking around, so meet and greet, whatever we want. I don't think it would look stupid there, and that doesn't look lost. That actually does look like it's just a strip. I don't think it's too lost. I do quite like the Jazz Club on this side, and then obviously you've got like an eatery, which would be the eatery for the actual main place, and then you got whatever and ever you've got. So a lot of the, don't forget, a lot of the buildings within theme parks are either just fascias, and the thing beside it is then like a big gift shop or an internal ride. This is just very much a case of the superhero land, where we would have loads and loads of minifigures. Now again, if you've not caught some of the custom ones, which I was very lucky to get for Christmas, and I'm still waiting to find out the top secret place for these to come. You've got Mr. Pool, you've got all of the others as well, so I'm just pulling these up and they all fall over. But yeah, you get the idea of what we can do with this by just adding loads and loads in. And we might have more display pieces like this. You can see I'm trying to convince myself before I move it, but I've already said that I'm going to move it, and I'm not too sure, but we will. So if we put you here, so what I'm going to have to do is this one comes out, Mr. Paul can be there, that can come out, that can come out, that can come out, fine. So this would move to here, this one comes to here, so that now automatically means we lose the road. So that is right to the edge of the table. So instead of the road, we have the path, but the road would still fit from there. It would just basically drive into the side of the building, and then we have got an alleyway between the gaps. Now, it does mean that all of this is now going to need to be pushed and pushed and pushed. Just get my tongue in, pushed and pulled over, and just see exactly how that is. So again, we would tuck in the road, or the road and everything would need to change. So just see what we're about to lose, and visually which is more eye-pleasing, because if I have worked this out, because I pulled that one building out, we should still be able to fit these two in. It'd be very, very funny if they won't work, but we will see. Because I was thinking that this would look quite nice spun round. Pull this one out. This is where this is the bit I was worried about, moving these and then dropping them, which is something I don't particularly want to do, but you can come back onto that lamppost, because this was our Punisher display. So all those displays can stay, they can all keep. That is the other option, so you can see what we're losing to what we're gaining to how it's changing, hopefully. Oh no, I'm literally off by a stud, because that road overlapped, didn't it? So I need to pull it over probably by about three studs. That is there. That is a very, very, very not good snug fit. Very snug fit. But I think it will go. I'm doing all this and I don't think it's going to be worth it, to be honest. We've had one little casualty, nothing else drastic. I can't actually get, there we go, I can't physically get my hand. That's what we want. So that is as tight as you can get it. So we're not losing any space whatsoever. It was actually getting caught on the paper. So that is your other option. We have created a street, basically, which the plan obviously was, through that gap, was then to get overhead photos to connect the others, and then we've got more space on there because I could have a 32 by 32 there and a 16 by 16. But where does the Doctor Strange set go? Because we said it could go over on that bit. I think all we've done by spinning it is just lose a road and lost the visual effect of all the stuff in DC, because I think we've just cut it off. That's what I think. So again, if I was to pan this down, what I try and do is I put this pan directly with the other one, just so you can see what they both look like, because I think the other effect, that just looks really messy. I don't think that looks right. I forget how the road is, because obviously the road would go in a straight line, it would come down, and then we could just connect the road and kiss it in. But we have obviously gained all of this space at the front. So we have got, what, 32 by 32, 32 by 32, and then a skinny road. So we could pull these forward, and then it gives us more space on the DC side, but we haven't got anything to put there. But it does mean that when the road plate goes in, we would have we would have 4 16 by 16 displays. So sorry, 6. We would have 6 16 by 16 displays, with the road would go all the way through. So the road would go where he is, comes up in a straight line, cuts around, and it just stops at the end of this table, and then that bit then starts at the end of there. But I don't think it works, and I don't think it can be saved with these being moved and putting them over to that side. So that is, I don't think that works. I think that's a complete and utter bust. That was actually the way that I was visualising it first. It's funny how that works. You think that if your first way is not going to work, and you put it and go, yeah. That's the only thing with the Lego kind of stuff, with how much space you get down some of the side of the buildings and some don't have gaps. It is very, very hard to sort of tell and see. But I think that is a swing and a miss for that one. So I will just move those back. I'm really not liking that at all. So we'll pull this one over. We'll push this one back over. We'll save that. Oh my days, need to drop that. We'll save that roof before that gets absolutely smashed and pancaked. We'll turkey Twizzler him around. I think it looked better all the way to the back. I think it worked well up there, and then I think that one will work well like that. I think those two, I think they do work well. And then obviously we've got the space for the road. I need to put his lid back on. So we'll get that back on, and that is done. That's better, I like that. And then it just opens it up, it just makes it a little bit brighter, doesn't it? And then I'll put this 32 by 32 for future, but we'll go by the edge of that table. So obviously I need to pull all these over, because I push that road plate in. So obviously I know I'm putting it in. I know I'm putting it in roughly. Now we did have, that was our walkway. That's where the Daily Bugle comes in. So again, just using all this for space. Pet shop gets pushed back. The bank goes back into how it should do. And then I can put that road back in. That then goes back and over. So that connects through. That went back on that corner like that. And then we can carry on playing, because what I will do is I just need to make up another yellow one of them, which I'll add in and fine tune everything once we start painting everything. So what I want to do is I just want to get this, almost this back corner done, and maybe this back wall done first, because it means then I can actually do some lives with you guys and girls. If the lives aren't a thing that you want, I can just do this kind of stuff where you keep writing what you like to see, I'll change it, and then that's how we'll keep communicating with each other with regards to this city. But I will do all the road plates, and then all of the sort of like display scenes with you lot on the lives, if that is something that you want to see. Now, I think it looks better or it will look better if the Joker Manor stays where it is, because I did say that there is a Joker Land. Now the Joker Land would go here, so we'll move the fresh vehicle because I've got that linked with something else. Obviously these figures are all in the wrong place, but this space here, there is a set which goes with the Joker Land. Now don't forget, the Joker Manor actually has steps up and a ticket booth in, so that is a ride to go on the roller coaster, so that works absolutely perfect. We can put the little Joker bit on the inside, so it's just looping in. And now, keeping that as we've got it, if, say for example, we had this road, the next road plate would then go that way on a curve, or we'll try and cut it as close to that bit as possible, and we'll stop, and then we can add in a skinnier walkway on that. But I think after 25 minutes of contemplating, I think that would work. Now there is one thing that I've not forgotten about, but I'm just quite happy that this looks nice here. It's the first thing I moved, which is the brown thing. Now this brown thing I have options with, because I did say in one of the previous uploads that this, and we've got gap basically up at the top because I've moved some of the stuff in the last upload, and the corner garage is in the corner obviously, and it actually, the more I look at it, the more I like it. Hopefully it comes across on camera. Again, once we've got the backdrops and everything sorted, it look nice. The corner garage works, next to the diner, cars parked beside it, it looks fine. Now we can put the two townhouses together. Now beside the townhouse, because we will now have a 16 by 32 gap, do I put in a little allotment? So does this little allotment, for example, just go there, and then it's just there, so it just fills in the gap. Obviously we've got some more studs that we can put like some of these round and down and whatever else like that. I think we will save that for a different upload, because I am so cold up here, it is unbelievable. The wind that comes through the top of this, it's a bit on the fresh side. I can't actually feel my fingers either, so that hopefully you guys are happy with. Let me know. I think you get the understanding and the idea with regards to just it all being looping around. Loads and loads and loads of minifigures. All this is just going to be a walkway. Obviously it'd be a road, but we'll do it for a walkway. And then we can just have all of the sort of superhero minifigures, all massive sort of like walk-through attraction is what it will be, going to the Joker Manor, and then it loops over onto the top of this table. I think we've got that. I think we've got that nailed. Now I need to bring over and add in to this side the actual corner garage wagon, and what I am going to do is, I haven't built it yet, but I think the best thing to do for the taxi, because I'm not too sure I'm going to upload the taxi before this or vice versa, is put the taxi in this display. Now we've got all this extra road play, and just have it being pulled so it connects this side to that side, because obviously it's the wagon that comes with, because the diner car is going to be parked by the diner, and the blue giveaway car will be parked with the diner, so we'll keep those together. So anybody that sort of knows the giveaway purchases and when they came out, it'd be like a little Easter egg for them. But at least the corner garage, it looks like it's been pulled because it's broken down. Again, all it's there, it's just for a photo opportunity. We can put some benches around it. I want to try and find maybe some characters that we think that might work as staff, and I'm not too sure what they should be wearing with regards to just taking the photos. Obviously all the stars of this, so you've got like all the Punisher and everything else like that, we will make whatever violent fun display that we can think of, but it is just like a visual attraction for a theme park area. But I think until I give this a little bit more of a move around, that's pretty much done, I think, because even if I just add that one in back into there, so we can see. Again, you've got just that 16 by 16 strip goes up. There's no point in me putting the road through, because I don't need, that's one of the other things. Do I do it half and half like I've done it on this side? Do I do yellow all the way around, or do we go into sort of the white bit for the Gotham, just because the Gotham looks a little bit more dark and dingy on this side? Don't forget, we've got police station and the cinema palace, and now they are in, and the palace actually does wrap around, so you've got the nice visual effect coming around the side. I think that works quite well actually with the bugle. I've not really paid attention to that, but if that went all the way up at the top, do we have, obviously it just needs to be pushed over ever so slightly, but do we put the one of the back cars, or the back bike, or do we put the cinema vehicle on the side there and just have the back one underneath? Do we put like a little train on top of that? But you can see what that I think would look like, and look like be quite nice. I think it's quite nice, but that is it, guys. I have waffled on for far too much. I've nearly used a whole battery. I can't believe this took so long just to try and get this little bit done. But it does mean I've got this table free. These are all the bits that are missing. That's why it looks a little bit spacious, because I just need to throw all of them back on the table, which is what I will do. And then we'll figure out where we're going to go for the next upload. At some point, we've got to go over this, which I'm excited to go over about. And there's lots of other little bits and pieces. Then as soon as it's in rough, we can then start tidying all of the little bits and pieces up, and then the fun bits begin, because it means minifigures get added and all the tiles get added. So it's a big project, but it should be a good bit of fun at the same time. But guys, that is it. I am done. But if you can like and subscribe and all that good stuff, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Remember, I will link the Jazz Club unboxing video, so you can see what it looks like with some of the modules that are over on that side. So if that's something you want to see, obviously watch it. If you don't, then don't bother. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You guys take care. I'll catch you in the next one. Ta-da.